What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. Today's video, we finally did it. Hit the legend at last. After sitting in the same elo for 6 weeks almost, trainers. 6 weeks! My elo has hardly gone anywhere but down and then back up again just to go back down, and yes, and yes, and yes. We made it. So, I'm going to break down the team that got us there. Stick with me for a second, then we'll get into the games and show you how it works. Shadow Jumpluff on the lead with Legacy Acrobatics. I made a video at the beginning of the season that was like, does Acrobatics matter? Does the buff matter? I made the mistake of using a non-Shadow Jumpluff. This thing, this little cotton ball right here, this thing is disgusting. Okay, trainers, I want you to be aware of that right now. This thing is absurd. Acrobatics hits so hard off the Shadow Jumpluff, and we're going to be coring it with Morpeko because I was tired of playing these bulky, meta-slave-looking teams, and I'm like, you know what? Morpeko sounds fun. Morpeko sounds good. Let's go have fun with the glass cannon, and it paid off. I am also running Seed Bomb. This is not your average Morpeko. I wanted to, one, remove the temptation to bait with Psychic Fangs, because I always get it wrong. And Seed Bomb actually bails us out a couple of times. I know at least once in this video, but at least a couple, 2 or 3 times, against Mud Boys in the back. So, Morpeko with Seed Bomb, definitely the sauce. And then we're going to be using Shadow Drapion in the back with that standard Aqua Tail Crunch. I definitely recommend Shadows on both Jumpluff and Drapion here because the extra offensive power from these things is just so much better, and you don't really necessarily need the bulk that you're sacrificing. You want that damage. So, I have 3 sets for you today. Let's get into the games. Starting off with this first match, we're going to be playing the banger song. Magikarp Festival is the best song, I swear to God. Into a Charjabug, shiny Charjabug at that. We are going to have the first game. We're going to stay in against this and go for the Acrobatics. I want to land some damage here. I have to keep in mind that this X-Scissor is super effective against my Morpeko in the back. So, X-Scissor is going to do a bit of damage here, but it's not something that Jumpluff can't just shrug right off and say, you know what, that's fine. Throw another one, I dare you. I'm going to go for the Acrobatics. It lands, and now I'm going to try to go and see if I can't catch this move on my Drapion, which we're successful in doing. It is just an X-Scissor. We're going to be able to get the opponent to bring in, hopefully, what is their hardest counter. That is what Drapion does on this team. As the save switch is going to draw out the grounds, going to draw out, hopefully, the fighters, right? So that's kind of the hope here with the Drapion save swap. And then Jumpluff can come and clean that up. And then if there's nothing left in the back that beats Morpeko, we can sweep with a shield advantage Morpeko. Now, in this game, I don't give myself a shield advantage for the Morpeko, but I see a Furret, and I realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So, Jumpluff is going to launch the Acrobatics, get the shield back, and then Furret is going to try to throw energy probably here. Most of them do. If they see a Morpeko, they think they're going to get a free shield, which I know that my Morpeko and all of your Morpekos as well will live that swift. The opponent's going to look to swap into their Charjabug, which is dry on energy. I'm making sure I throw this Aura Wheel at the beginning, or not the beginning, in the middle of the fast move, right? I want to throw it in the middle of the Volt switch, and then they're going to come back in with the Furret. The opponent isn't able to get to 2 Swifts, which I know they didn't swap out with that much energy. We're going to be able to just go for 1 Aura Wheel, and then 2 for the road to make sure we dominate this little Furret, put him right back in his place. Y'all, man, the Furret dance. Good game to the opponent. Next game up, we're going to have Jumpluff on the lead versus Tinkaton. Yes, this whole team looks like it gets railed, beaten by Tinkaton, but watch this, trainers. We're going to go for the Acrobatics right when we get to it because we do outpace to the second move as their play rough is straight 7, whereas our Acrobatics is 7-6. That means we're going to get to the second and the third right before they're going to get to theirs. So, that means I'm going to stay in. I'm going to go ahead and play this matchup out as long as I can. If the opponent shields, I shield. They usually shield this Acrobatics if they shield anything at all. If they don't shield it, then you can say, I want to go for this Aerial Ace and try to win switch. But however, what I like to do is as soon as that Tinkaton gets into the red, if they overfarm on energy, I'll usually shield so I can get them to throw the energy. But in this case, they decided to shield earlier. Now, if they don't shield earlier, like I'm just making sure that I wanted it about that health range, if not maybe a little bit more. This allows me to farm down. And here's the thing, trainers. I'm going to pause this right now so I can get my entire thought out before the gameplay completely takes that thought away from me. Tinkaton beats this whole team on paper, but Jumpluff is so incredibly stupid, busted, broken, and absolutely overpowered with Acrobatics that it gets to Tinkaton that low even shields. And most Tinkaton teams are going to be having things like Furret, Feraligatr, Golisopod, Jellicent in the back. Which means that even though Tinkaton core breaks this whole team. They didn't play strong to the Morpeko in the back. They're going to come in with that Furret I told you about. I knew he was going to be back. I didn't know he was going to be back there. I usually, when I've seen Tinkaton teams, they're almost always including either a Furret in the back or double water or something to that effect. Now, I'm going to swap into Drapion. I don't know what's in the back, but if their best thing to bring in here is Furret, then whatever's in the back is probably not going to be too happy to see this. We're going to get a perfect farm down. The opponent is going to bring in that Malamar they had stowed in the back. That is not a Feraligatr, Golisopod, or any other water type. But you know what? We'll take it. We get the shield off the opponent early. They are going to go ahead and let that... I'm going to go ahead and let that go. They shield that. I immediately win because Morpeko's Thunder Shock does a lot more. And I just realized Thunder Shock is sitting there as a fight time. We're going to fix it live because I'm too far in. I'm too far into this recording to start over now. You better believe it, trainers. We're going to be going for that massively hitting Aura Wheel and just knocking the Malamar off the face of the planet. In comes the little Furret that couldn't get KO'd by a Thunder Shock. Good game. See? I'm smooth, man. It's already fixed. You probably didn't even notice. Jumpluff and a Drapion. This is a deceptively decent matchup for Jumpluff, even though we're taking super effective from those poison stings. That Acrobatics is going to hurt. The opponent's going to throw the crunch right away here. Usually they'll either throw on CMP at 7 or they'll throw right away. I'm going to launch this Acrobatics. Opponent can make the choice of if they're going to shield or not. And because I have more Morpeko, my #1 priority is either knock out something in the lead with they don't want to shield, or get the shield down early so Morpeko has a better chance to sweep. If my opponent has a ground type in the back, like Clodsire, Diggersby, most of the time I'm losing that no matter what. So I'm just basically putting everything in this team into Morpeko and hoping that it works out. That is the entire strategy. There is no, how do you beat double charm? How do you beat double ground? Like, you don't. you don't. But if they don't have it, Morpeko's going to win you games, trainers, I promise you. Now, I have a shield advantage. I don't want to take this damage from a Shadow Lapras. I can safely shield this, over farm as much as I like here, up to about 4, right? Because they got a couple Psy Waves when they took down my Drapion, so I can go for about 4, as I believe Sparkling Aria is like 10 or 11 Psy Waves. Opponent doesn't shield that move up. What are they going to have in the back? I don't know. But in comes a Jumpluff, and Jumpluff is about to have a very bad day because it has nothing but resisted charge moves unless it builds up to that energy ball. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to go for the Aura Wheel. Now my attack is boosted again. And now the opponent's going to go for a charge move. I know it's a Scenario Ace, but I'm also not about to just let this go because I am pretty confident that I can get to 2 charge moves. My opponent goes for the catch and they lose. We're going to be able to farm up to 2 moves because I knew when they threw that Aqua Tail earlier, they were energy dry, and so I can safely just go for the Aqua Tail. I can go for the Aura Wheel as soon as we get to 2, knock out both the Jumpluff and the Drapion, and that's going to be taking them out. Good game. Next game up, we are going to have a Lapras in the lead. Now, this is actually not as horrible as it might look. However, I have 2 better answers in the back, so I'm going to go straight to Drapion here. The opponent will probably be able to get a move in. I'm actually going to let this go, especially because it's a non-Shadow Lapras. I'm a lot less inclined to shield this. They're just going for the Aria. I'm going to save this energy just in case that we are going to end up needing it if they try to swap. But they are staying in. I'm going to launch a Crunch as I get close to the move, and the opponent overfarms by just a bit too much or is not able to get to the move. So I'm going to be able to launch this Crunch and get the shield, which is going to be really nice here. Am I going to be able to get to a move? Unfortunately, we're going to go down, not even an Aqua Tail, but that's okay. We're going to come in with Jumpluff, and I'm going to dare my opponent to throw an Ice Beam here. Either way, I'm putting everything into Morpeko. He can throw an Ice Beam and take me out, but he goes for the Aria. Might have Skull Bash. We're going to go for the Aerial Ace right away. The opponent's not in another move, or if they were, they overfarm by just a little bit too much, and now we put it all on the Peko. In comes the opponent's Talonflame. We're going to be going for the Aura Wheel here on good timing, but wait. It's not, because I had 1 turn bring in from the swap, which is really unfortunate because I'm the one who threw that charge move, and I don't think that I should have to suffer for it. But now I'm in a little bit of a tough spot because I gave them a full free Incinerate. They're at 2 moves, and I miscount thinking they're going to go for an Incinerate down, and they don't. But now what I can do is I can go for 1 single Thunder Shock, throw the Aura Wheel, and what I just hope I can get to another one. I just got to hope I can get to, I don't know what's in the back yet. Opponent has a Credilli. We're going to go for the resisted Aura Wheel. However, it is double boosted. It's going to hit like a truck Going through a nitroglycerin plant. We're going to be taking out over half the Credilli's HP, and now I need to be able to land this Acrobatics. Rock's Tomb is going to do about half to Jumpluff, so I know I'm okay here. I just need the Acrobatics to be enough. Is this Acrobatics going to do enough damage? We're going to be going for it as soon as we get to it. Not going to worry about it, even though it was good timing just because it was. I'm still going for it no matter when I get it, and we're going to take out the Credillia. It does just enough damage to KO. Let's go. Good game. Getting into the next battle here, we got Jumpluff on the lead versus Pangoro. This is a fantastic dominant matchup, and the opponent's going to swap out. Now, I'm expecting to have poison in the back, and this is where I'm like, okay. Yes, I'm hoping that there's a Toxapex in the back. I think that is what is likely. I see a lot of the times they have the Toxapexes in the back, and so that's, you know, that's just kind of where I'm going with this. But the opponent, however, well, they drop into a Drapion, and because of that, that's kind of what fuels the whole, they probably have another poison in the back, right? Because you see dark types with poison almost all the time, except I give my opponent the opportunity to go for an Aqua Tail here before I can get mine off, and unfortunately, that gives them the opportunity to flip switch advantage. Now, if I save both of my shields, I was okay to put more Peko on that Pangoro, but the opponent swaps right away, and I can't swap yet, and that's not good. Now, here we go. We're going to go into the Jumpluff, and I'm going to be looking to just Fairy Wind this all the way down. I don't know what's in the back. I'm thinking it's probably Toxapex. It's probably going to be fine. We have a more Peko with 2 shields, and so we're going to just go for the knockout here. Get this farm down. Opponent comes in with Clodsire. And it is at this exact moment that I know I'm not winning this game. Now, I'm going to try my best. I think I have a chance here. Especially with my opponent going on for a CMP tie on that Sludge Bomb, it looked like. We're going to be able to get them very low. However, we have more Peko. And more Pekos on Seed Bomb. And so, with a shield advantage, surely I should be able to make this. Now, the opponent here is going to come in with the Drapion. Drapion is going to be able to launch an Aqua Tail, but I can't. I'm like, I can't. I don't know if I'm supposed to shield that. I think in the end, the answer was to shield that. And you know what's really sucks? Is I'm going to get Poison Sting down here. If I had Psychic Fangs, I would have won the game. Because I'd have back-to-back Psychic Fangs. So I'm hoping here that I live this Poison Sting. I know in hindsight that I don't. That takes a 4-1. What could have been a 5-0 if I'd played this a little bit smarter. Unfortunately, my opponent takes advantage of that mistake that I now made and gets the game. And we're now at 29-98. But hold on a minute, trainers. Hold on a minute, trainers. I'm a man of the people. And I love to show off these teams when they work for me. So I've included an extra 5 battles in the middle before we get to the Legends set of just some fun games that show off this team because I really wanted to just put them out there because this team made the difference, okay? I want everybody to see as much of this team as they can because it's a fantastic team. The opponent has a Shadow Malamar. I think some Malamar in the lead, and they were afraid of the Jumpluff. They probably have 2 better answers in the back, so they're going to be going for a safe swap into their Diggersby. I'm going to stay in and try to chip this thing. I really don't have an answer to this. So I have 2 answers in the back to the opposing Malamar, and so I'm going to save them for that Malamar, and I'm just going to hope that using my Jumpluff here against this Diggersby is going to be good enough, okay? That's basically what I'm here for. Like, if they have something in the back that beats these 2 in the back, like if they have the ground type, I'm probably going to lose, right? So we'll see what the opponent brings in here. They're going to bring in that Malamar. I'm going to be able to launch an Aerial Ace. It would have been a lot smarter of me because I am critical of myself. I will point out my mistakes when I make them. It would have been a heck of a lot smarter for me to bank that energy and save it for later just in case they have something in the back that I could have used that on. They're going to go for the superpower, and in comes a Talonflame. And Talonflame is a little bit of a menace to me right now, but I get a shield. And then I'm going to get another shield, or I'm going to do a lot of damage, and that with 2 shields should allow more Peko to farm down, or they just shield the Aqua Tail, and they're going to go all in on Talonflame. Unfortunately for them, I have a more Peko that charges at the speed of light. And so we're going to be able to land the Aura Wheel here if the opponent doesn't swap out. So I'm waiting for the Incinerate animation to start as I'm throwing a Thunder Shock, and as I see it does, I'm going to go for 2 Thunder Shocks, and then the charge move. Boom! We're going to knock out the Talonflame with the Aura Wheel, and because we still have a shield, the Malamar is just going to go down before it can get to 2 charge moves, and we're going to take that game. Well played. I'm gloating. I'm showing off. Oh, I forgot to get rid of the Q time bit! No! That was one of the sets in the middle of last night. I played this team yesterday, and now we're just kind of talking until the queue time goes away. There we go. Well, that was fun. Jumpluff into Jumpluff. This is a lead that I saw a lot of, and the way I play it, I'm full sending, baby. I said, I want your shield, or I want to almost completely one-shot your Jumpluff. And so what I'm going to do, just exactly that. Full send the Acrobatics. I usually win CMP because my Jumpluff is a decent rank, but it still has a little bit more attack than a super high bulk Jumpluff. Aerial Ace, that's fine. We're going to see them swap into their Drapion, and my Drapion's going to be winning this CMP as well. Again, I don't have rank 1 shadows except for a few, okay? So, some attack weight with good bulk. I built the best I had. Now, I got a better Drapion now, but I haven't built it yet because I haven't felt the need to invest that dust. And right now, I'm really glad that I'm using my old one because it's winning the CMP here, and that's actually going to put me in the driver's seat of being able to win this matchup. I can let this move go. I can get the farm. I'm thinking this might be a mirror team because I've seen their 2 so far, and so we're going to KO each other with the Drapion, and I'm thinking, do I drop in my Morpeko here? I think I do. We're going to be bringing it in. Morpeko's coming in, and so is theirs. But I'm going to look to swap to catch the move, and that's going to put me ahead a whole charge move as long as I make sure that the opponent doesn't catch on me. The Aura Wheel is going to fully one-shot my Jumpluff. Opponent now is going to be looking to stay in and go for it. Some Thunder Shocks. I'm going to fire off my first Aura Wheel. If they decide to let this go, they're just going to get Thunder Shock down, and I have 2 shields to make that happen. Opponent going to be going for a charge move. At this point, I am shielding and farming down the whole team. They can Psychic Fangs bait me all they want. We're going to be able to get the farm down here because they were just at the Psychic Fangs, and now we still have a shield. We can now Thunder Shock down the Jumpluff in the back since it was very low. I'm just going to be going for the Aura Wheel. I really didn't need to, but I forgot how much energy they had when they swapped, and so I'm sitting here like, I'm just going to guarantee, because I have 2 Aura Wheels, and then I'm like, wait, they have 2 shields, so we just Thunder Shock down anyway, because I'm not paying attention in the middle of a game. And I don't mean that as like, I'm not paying attention now. I mean, I remember thinking that during that game. And I'm like, oh shoot, they have 2 shields. Why am I throwing this? That was weird. That was really weird. Anyway, my editing software was acting up on me tonight. So I apologize if there's weird things in the footage, like the queue time's not being correct. But we have all the games here. We're going to be seeing a Shadow, Galarian, Weezing in the lead the next game. Not a good lead for Jumpluff. But here's the thing with these Weezings and other things that may actually pose a threat to your Jumpluff. Just remember, if you can get farm on something and you can get an energy lead, Acrobatics is going to hit like a train. Okay? So, Aqua Tail is going to land on a Primeape, the unsuspecting little Primeape that couldn't. He's going to come in, try and go for a move. I'm going to let it go at this point. Jumpluff gets to come in and get this farm down. The opponent pretty much throws the Rage Fist right away. I'm hoping I can farm down 1, 2, 3, 4, but unfortunately not quite. They're going for the Ice Punch and they can't get there, and the opponent's now going to come in with a Weezing. I'm going to shield the first Sludge because I know they have just about 2, and I'm going to be looking to go for the Aerial Ace here, but only because they're low enough. Otherwise, if they had shielded before, I might go for the Acrobatics. But that's still going to do a plenty of damage. Aerial Ace actually gets the shield from my opponent, and because they want to overfarm, I'm going for another Aerial Ace. This thing is going to get knocked out. We're going to see what they have in the back. Nope, never mind. Now I forgot now they have 2. I forgot they have 2 shields now. My goodness, I'm a special case. Old man brain. Anyway, I'm going to say that I'm going to live that. The opponent comes in with a Furret. I was looking to go for an Aerial Ace into the Weezing, but the opponent ends up saving it. We're going to go into the Morpeko. My Jumpluff has gone down, but we have a shield. All I need to do here, eat 1 Swift, because I know I can, farm up to 2 moves, and we win the game. We're going to be going for another 4 here, just to make sure that they aren't able to, or no, I'm going for 5, and I'm shielding the Swift. I couldn't remember if I had gone on 4, or if I played, like I said, I played these games the day before, and look, y'all parents, you don't know how tired you get. The parent brain comes in. We got back-to-back moves, though, and that's not going to matter. My rambling aside, we're going to be Aura Wheeling away the opponent's Weezing and taking a game win. Good game. Next game up, we got Jumpluff on the lead versus an opposing Jumpluff. You know, I know what we're going to do here. We're going to be going for the Acrobatics. Stay hydrated, folks. Water's good for you. Acrobatics is going to be shielded or not. The opponent letting it... Nope, they shielded. I hate when the shield doesn't show up. It throws me for a loop, man. Aerial Ace, once again, they always bait. They always bait. I never bait. I just full send it. You can either shield or you can lose your whole Jumpluff, man. Now the opponent's up at the Acrobatics, and so I'm actually going to go ahead and shield that, respecting the damage. However, they just go for an Aerial Ace, and I'm wondering if they might have Energy Ball at this point, because I feel like one of those two was like a prime opportunity to throw an Acrobatics. So Crunch takes out the Blastoise, the opponent just sacrificing it, and in comes that Jumpluff. Jumpluff is going to be able to get to a charge move here right before I am. However, I'm going to let it go. It's an Aerial Ace. They're still baiting me. We're going to go for one more Poison Sting and then the Crunch. Probably could have gone for another couple, but I very quickly lose track of Jumpluff energy. I'm just that bad at keeping track of it. Opponent looks to go for a maximum amount of farm and throws on very good counting awareness here. So they are going to be looking to go for that Aerial Ace, take us out, and, well, I come in with my Morpeko, and the opponent brings in their Lapras, and they know immediately that it's over. Good game. A very common team I saw. Jumpluff with Blastoise and either like Morpeko, Drapion, or a Lapras in the back. It's a very common team. We're going to be staying in this really nice matchup here. Acrobatics threatens to one-shot the Golisopod, and Aerial Ace does a ton of damage. And so I'm going to eat the X-Scissor, and the opponent's going to come in with this Ferret. And since I've got so much energy, I'm going to farm up close to another Acrobatics, at least close enough to get there before the pod can get to an X-Scissor if we ever have to match that up again. And the opponent decides to shield the Acrobatics, which is good for them, but also good for me, because now I've created a shield advantage situation for Morpeko, and I plan to take advantage of it. We're going to go for this Crunch. It's going to do a sizable amount of damage to the Ferret, maybe even get a defense drop, and it's in Aqua Tail range now. However, this looks like a very juicy opportunity to let Morpeko farm down, but I'm going to opt against it, because I feel like I might be able to Poison Sting farm down, and if I can, that would be disgusting. Actually, never mind. Hindsight, man. Hindsight. Whatever I was doing in the moment, I must have known what I was doing, because clearly it worked. And then comes Gastrodon. I'm going to immediately swap in my Jumpluff, because Acrobatics is going to threaten everything left in the game here. We're going to go for it right here. Acrobatics taking a large chunk out of this Gastrodon. The opponent's going to come in with that Golisopod. Golisopod? I don't care. It's Golisopod to me right now. There's different ways to say everything, I'm finding out. I just recently trained myself to say Drapion instead of Drapion. Do you know how long I've said Drapion? Since Gen 4 was out. Years now. And they told me otherwise. Arceus, too. And Arceus. Let me know in the comments what weird Pokemon you guys have been calling the wrong thing for ages. And by the way, we have Seed Bomb. Now, I'm pretty confident. The opponent throws the Earth Power. I'm pretty confident that I can just go for Seed Bomb here because, well, is the opponent going to shield a Psychic Fangs? No. But we have Seed Bomb. Good game. All right, now we're getting into the Legends set. Thank you for sticking with me through those battles. I wanted to show them off because I thought they were fun. I also sent some battles to Jamie Finn, and I really hope he gets around to them because I sent him different battles, and those are some good ones as well. We have a Morpeko in the lead in the next game. I am literally, remember, I'm at 29.98. I need one 3-2 set to make it over the line. I just need one. I got knocked off at 2 points shy, and I see Morpeko on the lead in this game, and I'm just like, okay, well, Aura Wheel is going to knock us really low. I'm going to let this go. Hopefully live the Psychic Fangs. Absolutely not. I'm not that lucky. Now we're going to come in with Drapion. See, I just told myself about it. I'm going to commit to this farm down. The opponent is in electric form, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this. This was one shot if it's an Aura Wheel, which there's no reason for them not to throw the Aura Wheel here. And we're going to have a ton of energy on our Drapion in order to threaten whatever's in the back. And the opponent's best answer here is a Jumpluff. And that makes me kind of happy to see that, because whatever's in the back must not like me very much. So we're going to be looking to go for as many crunches as we can, and I think I'm just going to leave the shield for Morpeko and see if we can win the game with it. I'm kind of hopeful that, you know, maybe they go for an Aerial Ace here. Maybe they go for an Aerial Ace, but no. They go for the Acrobatics. They full send my Drapion to the Shadow Realm. The opponent does have a Blastoise, but unfortunately, with a shield disadvantage, I'm not inclined to believe that I'm going to be able to win this game. I have to hope that a Hydro Cannon somehow doesn't do enough to knock me out, plus these rollouts. I'm going to find out right now because the opponent's going to go for their move, and I know that the pacing on that rollout to Hydro Cannon combination is way too fast for me to be able to win this game, so I'm just going to go ahead and let them farm me down. They got this one on me. Good game. Well played. But that means we're 0-1 in the last set, so we have to know, where do we get it? Well, with leads like this, of course, we have a Marowak in the lead in the next game, and the opponent's going to bring in an Ice Water. I don't care what Ice Water it is, I'm bringing in my Morpeko, and I'm going to be looking to go for the Aura Wheel before they can get to their charge move, and guess what? Guess what? They shield it. So they can get an Icy Wind off. That's fine. I still get to keep a boost, but now I also get more energy. Now, the opponent, what they are doing here is very smart. Okay? They're making sure that when I KO their Dugong, it is going to be in electric mode, which actually prevents me from throwing a Aura Wheel into the opposing Marowak, and they live on 1 HP, dude. They live on 1 HP. 1. Icy Wind gets my shield here, and I'm going to be going for the Seed Bomb before they can take me out. Let's see how much damage this once boosted boy. No, it's not a boosted boy. He took 2 debuffs. Don't mind me. Opponent swaps immediately to Toxapex. And I feel like I might have a choice, a chance, possibility of winning this game. Because Drapion can go for 2 crunches here and threaten a KO. And they are incredibly slow. Brine is not going to be nearly enough damage to be able to threaten a KO here. They're going to need 2. And in the time that I can get to myself to 2 more charge moves, we should be able to outpace them to another Brine. Hopefully. Jumpluff, however, is in the back, and I've kept it outside of the range of a Rock Slide. It does about half of the damage of Morpeko. Now, I also called that they're going to swap here because it would be very smart of them to snipe with a Mud Slap. But I'm going to get their shield because I say nay. And now I just have to build myself up to 2 Aqua Tails. I've been counting the opponent's energy. They are now at the Rock Slide precisely. And that means we can go for 4. And then the Aerial Ace to make sure that we are just 2 or 3 away. The opponent just threw that second Brine. They have no energy left. We're going to be able to get to the Aerial Ace to knock out the Toxapex. And that's going to take that game. We are now 1-1 in the set with 2 points from Legend. What could possibly go wrong? And at this point, too, genuinely something I consider. If I lock it in the next 2 games, if the last person I play is an expert on that 5th game, I'll just stop left to him. That's what I do. If I ever lock it in early, anyone who's not Legend immediately gets my points. Now, unfortunately, in this game, I cannot give that courtesy because I still need 2 more wins in the set. So we're going to go for the Acrobatics. The opponent shields it up. That Cardilli is a problem. We're going to go ahead and let this Rock Tomb go. Rock Tomb is going to do quite a bit of damage as soon as they throw it. I'm going into my Drapion here, hoping to get to a move. The opponent comes in with Gastrodon. That's a thing. Apparently, Cradilli Gastrodon is a thing. So, crunch 1. Going for another crunch before the opponent wants to throw a move. Maybe they want to shield and farm me down. I don't know. Either way, they get to keep their Jumpluff, or my Jumpluff, away from the Gastrodon, but they just sacrifice it and it comes to Bastion. And the amount of pain that I feel in my soul in this moment is immeasurable because I know in the back of my mind that I cannot overcome this Morpeko and this Cradilli. Or overcome the Bastion and the Cradilli. The opponent is going to get to energy way too quickly. And even though all I need is a boosted Aura Wheel against the Cradilli, I have nowhere to go with my Jumpluff right now. And if the opponent brings that Cradilli in, I have to put the damage onto the Jumpluff. And I have to shield this because if I do, they're just going to... I mean, maybe shielding the Morpeko is the right play. Maybe saving the shield for Morpeko is the right play. I genuinely don't feel like I had a play here. They got the Rock Tomb already. Acrobatics not going to be enough. I have to get the Aerial Ace in. And the opponent and I CMP tie. Unfortunately, they're at the Rock Tomb. And I think it's just curtains for me at this point. Rock Tomb takes us out. We still have to go through a shield and a Cradilli and a Bastion that can still live 2 Aura Wheels. And they go for the move, and I know it's over. Grass Knot takes us out, and now that puts us 1-2 in this next set. And I am like, don't do this to me, man. I don't want to go back down again. Talonflame in the lead in the next game, and I'm just panicked. We're going to go to Drapion right away. 4 Poison Stings in the Aqua Tail. Within there, 2 Incinerates is good timing. We're going to be able to launch an Aqua Tail, get some good damage in, or to get a shield early, which again, early shield is king. The opponent now at a charge move. Look how low they are already. Like, that is, you cannot just give Talonflame an Aqua Tail, and it's just not okay. The opponent's best response is a superior. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe whatever's in the back does not like Morpeko. Maybe this is their only grass, but whatever they're weak to in the back, it doesn't like the dark typing. I think that might be it. So, opponent goes and full sends that Frenzy Plant. I'm going to come in with my Jumpluff and go for the Acrobatics, but I'm going to get a little bit of extra farm first so that I can try to threaten with a charge move or keep the energy stashed on my Jumpluff for later. We're going to be going for 4 Fairy Winds and then the Acrobatics before they would get to the 5th Vine Whip for the Aerial Ace. Going to go ahead and throw that charge move. Acrobatics knocks out. Coming in with more Morpeko. Looking to get that farm down. Opponent does not. get farmed down, but they come in with a Toxapex. And I have back-to-back Aura Wheels for this thing. They likely shield the electric one, and then they're going to let that dark one go and hope that they're going to be able to live it. But by the time that second Aura Wheel hits, they will be in farm down range, and that Talonflame is still one Incinerate off a move. We should have the win locked and loaded here. Unless something happens, nothing happens, because the game says, you know what? Not today. You deserve it, buddy. We are now 2-2, getting into the final decisive game, and it's freaking Tankathon in the lead. So I'm going to do what I did last time, and I'm going to stay in, and I'm going to go for Acrobatics, and I'm going to hope and pray. I'm going to hope and pray, trainers, that whatever they have in the back is weak to my Morpeko, like they have been so many times in the past. The pacing advantage is what really sets Jumpluff up nice here, because it does lose CMP. It does have a lower attack stat than Tinkaton. So having the pacing advantage with Acrobatics is nice. This puts this thing in a range now. I'm keeping track of their energy. I decide to no shield because they throw very close to the charge move. I can come in with Drapion, 1, 2, 3, 4, CMP them on the Bulldoze, and the opponent's going to end up going down or having to shield this move. And that's going to tell me exactly what I need to know. The opponent shields, they really want this damage, and that's fine. I'm expecting that at this point. This is a full Morpeko sweep situation. This is just a Bulldoze. They immediately swap in to a Feraligatr. We're going for the Aura Wheel, and so far, this game is going exactly how I needed it to. I was going to get the farm down with my Morpeko on the Tinkaton anyway. The opponent sees the Morpeko absolutely in shambles, and they're going to concede. And that is going to be a 3-2, done and dusted, getting that beautiful, beautiful positive set to get us to 3,012 ELO. I thought it was 3,002, but it's 3,012. We get the screenshot. And I'm so glad I'm free. Y'all, if you have been hanging out with me in the streams, thank you. If you have been hanging out with me in the comments and watching my content, thank you. If you haven't been, also thank you. Just thank you for being here. Appreciate you for being here. This game does terrible things to one's mental health, and I'm not afraid to say it. It does it to me too. But when it goes good, it's good. And the game is fun when it works. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your season. Good luck on your push, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.